Guys, how's it going? Today I'm just kind of doing a strange little experiment. Right now, I am going to be using the Lumix S5 II with a Sigma 105 1.4, and I'm going to be using a Sony A7CR with a Sigma 105 1.4. I have both lenses for both systems. Right now I'm just trying to check out what the autofocus is like between the two. These are not challenging by any way, just me walking back and forth between the two cameras. So as you guys notice, my voice isn't really lining up that well because idiot mode was on. So yeah, I pretty much put myself in a tight spot using very tight 105mm lenses. As you can see, you can't really see myself. You just see part of my head cropped and everything. So even though it might not be the most attractive thing to look at, but it does demonstrate how the autofocus works. As you can see, both of these cameras, they are able to obtain autofocus even when only part of the face is actually in the footage, which is really good. This one right here is the Sony A7CR. I'm using a built-in profile for the camera. It's a faded look, so completely different than the one that I use for Lumix S5 II. The Lumix S5 II, I had more of a warm teal and orange, more cinematic kind of look. Not necessarily for this, but it was totally a custom LUT that I had. So again, this is more of an experimentation for myself, kind of trying to get an idea what they look like next to each other, how they behave. I did find that the autofocus for the Lumix is actually superior the closer you get to the camera. The Sony overall is pretty reliable, but I wouldn't say this is the best autofocus lens for the Sony system. But these lenses do have the most amazing look out of them. Dare I say medium format. The compression is pretty impressive because it's 105mm, and at 1.4 you really do get a nice shallow depth of field. The versatility that the Lumix gives you as far as adding multiple real-time LUTs into the camera is what I'm looking for to save work in post. I am not trying to create high-end stuff. I am literally trying to create a fast workflow where I can just transfer the images from the camera into my cell phone with no grading whatsoever. I found that the Lumix is better for that. Now the Sony though, the A7CR being a 61 megapixel camera, to me, this camera is my favorite walk around camera. It can do pretty reasonable video. It does amazing photos, even though it does have its limitations. I love both systems. I was gonna leave the Sony system. I sold my Sony a7S III, but I found that with all the lenses that I have, I'm keeping it, but I also have tons of Lumix lenses. I embrace both systems, and I highly recommend either one of them to anyone that's either looking to start photography or videography. They're pretty impressive. Sony does have more options. The Lumix is more like a little niche market, but it just feels good in the hands. It's a great camera. Love you guys. Talk to you soon.